The end of the year means it's time for both fans and the games industry alike to choose a game to win the illustrious Game of the Year award. This year has been one for the record books, and not necessarily in a good way. The games that have come out and have been nominated for this award reflect the weirdness that has been 2020. We sit down to discuss what we think should win the Game of the Year award, and that's what we want to talk about this week on the Free Play Podcast.
You are listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network.
Hey, what's up, nerds? My name's Bubba Stallcup, and you are watching the Free Play Podcast. And I say watching because we are live right now on twitch.tv/LoveThyNerd.
Sure are.
We're doing it and doing it well. Matt, you okay?
I'm loud, I guess. I'm turning myself down. Hello.
Matt's loud?
Check
yeah,
one.
well, it just is what it is. Hey, as Matt starts to get all that figured out, if
He'll be fine.
for whatever reason you can't listen to it well on Twitch, we're going to try and get it figured out. But you can always go back and listen to us syndicated on podcast form or also on LTN radio. You can go to ltnonair.com, and this show airs each and every Wednesday at, I think it's 5 p.m. Central Time.
Something
Central.
like
Yeah.
You know, I just found out that 47% of the U.S. is Eastern Time, and the second highest is Central Time.
Yeah.
Take that, Pacific Coast
that.
area.
I don't know what to say to that. I feel
Yeah.
attacked.
So I think the issue with that is that some of it is actually like Mountain Time.
No,
like,
even
there is Mountain Time.
No, even Mountain Time's 9%. California
Oh,
coast
you know
area
that
is 16%. 29% for Central, and then 47 or 48 for Eastern.
Is it-
It just
so,
looks
like,
up. And
what
I'm
kind
Matt
of
Warmbier. Oh, but
Hey, thanks for this is your stats minute with Matt Warmbier. What is is it just like number of people, or it's not number of states?
I think
it's like
people.
population.
I
yeah,
looked
it
up
has to
population.
be.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is one time zone, and then
Well, I'm
never
sorry,
have to
I
worry
know.
about this ever again. Well, hey, like I said, this is the Free Play Podcast. My name's Bubba, and I am joined with some of my good friends, a couple of co-founders and co-hosts here of Free Play at Love Thy Nerd. We got Matt Warmbier,
What'd do?
the time zone czar, and also we've got Kate Katawaki,
Hello.
who just moments before we started decided it was a good idea to knock off the center panel.
No,
with
it was an
Arthur
accident.
Morgan.
It was because my chair touched there, and
I'm sorry, where?
he fell down.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. People are listening to their podcast.
He fell down, and I
Yeah.
got really nervous. I thought it was going to be scratched, and I'd have to get rid of the entire thing. And then Bubba would see. Bubba saw that it happened, but
I'm
turns
just
out
gonna
he's
throw it
fine.
out there. I'm gonna throw it out there. If it gets scratched and you're like, I better get a new one, just send me that one. I'll fix it.
Yeah,
Send
Matt
me-
has like a black
Okay, sounds
washable
good.
marker that he
Yeah.
can.
Oh no.
A Sharpie? No, I use a Sharpie.
Is that the sound your markers make?
It's fine. It's all fine. The picture is fine. It's I know a lot of people were concerned about the picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just send it to me. It's fine. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Big
It's on
time
its way.
concern.
Steven, get a new one.
Big time concern.
Hey, Bubba, I want to hear about your chickens. I want to hear about them right now, and I can't wait
Okay,
anymore. I've been waiting for
Yeah,
hours.
what
and
is
hours
this?
and
Because I
hours.
thought that they weren't your chickens. They just lived across the street.
1819 Street. You guys ever play that patty cake game?
No.
My brother, your brother, lived across the street. 1800 something Street. No,
I've never heard of that in my life.
Man, you went to public school. You should. Come on, man.
No, we were Cinderella dressed in yellow.
Okay, well, to each
I
his
don't-
own. To each
Yeah,
his
it's the
own.
same thing, I think.
It has the same ending. That's for sure.
Okay. Went
Chopping
to
up
the kiss of
weasel
a
heads.
fella.
So what happened?
Oh yeah. So I this morning I was woken up by my wife, who tells me, I kid you not, like I can't write this kind of stuff. She comes in and she kind of gently puts her hand on me and she kind of wakes me up and she goes, you're going to have to kill it. I kid you not. Those are the words that she used. And of course, at this moment, I'm like,
kill what? A child? Is that the first thing that went through your head?
No.
Good morning, honey.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to kill it.
My thought, because my mind went to Matt's chicken story, because that was the exact same line that he was fed, and so I was pretty sure I was sleeping at this moment. And she's like, I got to kill what? What are you talking about? And she goes, the kids found a chicken across the street. A dog had gotten to it. And it was at that moment that I knew for a fact I was sleeping, because it was another dead chicken story. And I was not sleeping. So the neighbor dog got out, attacked a rooster in front of our yard, and the kids were going out there and trying to revive it and save it. And one of the things that they were doing is, we have this, I don't know, it's about 1.5 feet, by about a foot tall. It's a Tonka truck that you can. Yeah, absolutely. Happy Tonka days. And you can take it out and like fill it with dirt and then empty it out and all sorts of stuff.
Or chicken blood, whatever.
I was gonna say, so you did they put a chicken in it or
carcasses? Yes, absolutely. So they put the chicken in there, and Anna went out there and she said that the chicken was like real jittery, and it was when Nene was able to pick the chicken up, this rooster, and when she did, like, it would open its eyes, and then it's like, no, this ain't worth it, and it would just like close its eye. She said that its little hairdo, its comb, was losing color. Yeah. And Anna was like, this chicken's not long for this world. So when she finally gets me out of bed, she'd already been kind of working on this for a while. I'm like, well, let me go find my gloves. I'll have to break this feral chicken's neck or something like that. And Anna had already explained it to the kids and the whole 9 yards. I get up and go out there, and I see Anna picking up the Tonka truck and walking it towards our neighbor, who these chickens roost in his yard. And the funniest and cutest thing was that Nene, as Anna is picking up the Tonka truck, Nene is going, wee-oo, wee-oo, here comes the ambulance, wee-oo. And like, she's being so sincere. Oh, no. Caleb, he's out there and he's like, oh, mommy, the chicken. I prayed for the chicken. I prayed that Jesus would save the chicken.
All your guys as kids. Oh my gosh.
And
you guys are praying for the chickens.
Yeah, good. Like Caleb doesn't pray for anything. He was praying for this chicken.
Well, he was moved.
As it's making its way to the underworld.
Insert chicken sandwich joke.
Well, he loves them when they're alive, or at least when they're on their last.
We tell a lot of like sad chicken stories on here. I don't have anything else to add to that.
The end. That's it. That's the podcast.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah,
okay,
what's up,
keep
birds?
going, Bubba. Keep going. I gotta hear the end. The grisly end.
The grisly end is that they take it over to the neighbor, and this is at like 8:00 in the morning, like 7:45. Like it's pretty early, and I'm like, I don't think our neighbor's up, like awake outside, ready to be greeted with a half dead chicken.
You always gotta be ready.
Well, we know that now, and so for the next time, we'll be ready. So I mean, long story short, he takes one look at that chicken, goes, that thing's dead. And I don't know if they buried it. He asked us, he was like, hey, we can go bury it unless you guys want to eat it. And he's being serious again. No. He's like, do you want to eat this chicken?
I wouldn't eat a chicken after it had been ripped apart by a dog.
Well, it hadn't been fully ripped apart.
Which part had been ripped?
Just
some feathers. Enough to almost kill it, but some feathers.
I don't know.
And so Caleb says, yes, let's eat it. That way it won't have to get its head chopped off. And I'm like,
either way, it's dead already. You don't need to.
Well, Anna told him, you obviously don't know what happens to a chicken to make it prepared to eat.
Yeah, you don't leave the head on.
We had bomb steak last night. Like Anna accidentally.
I thought you were going to say chicken.
So here, just a hold, please. We had really great steak. Anna accidentally got the good steak.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, no, it was freaking-tastic.
Happy little accident.
So I went into the stream last night like on cloud 9. That was good.
Is it hot in here?
Is it hot in here? It's just meat sweats, like. So, and last night Caleb said, hey, mommy, as we're starting to eat, he's like, steak. He's like really excited. And he says, what are we going to have tomorrow? What about chicken? Let's eat chicken.
Oh,
he said that last night. And so this morning, he tells her, he's like, hey, mommy, I don't want chicken tonight.
ever again.
And so he goes in the house, gets we have some of the steak, and he's like, I don't want to eat this. I don't want chicken. And she's like, sweetie, that's not where chicken comes from. So she tells me he obviously has no idea how we get meat to eat. He thinks that a cow and a chicken are the same animal. It's just so this is a very confusing time in our household. But yeah, I mean,
But isn't it Anna who homeschools the kids?
I think it shows.
That helps.
Yeah, I think it shows. This morning, they were trying to make a lemonade stand sign, and we were trying to figure out how to draw, a sliced lemon and all that stuff. And so I'm over there telling our daughter, Naomi, I'm like, hey, here's how you do this. And, you want the way you find the middle of the circle so that you know where the spokes come out from and yada, yada, yada. And Anna's like, you're trying to teach him geometry. And I'm like, I'm trying to teach him how to draw a lemon. What do you want me to do? And so she's tying string around a pencil and trying to create a little protractor. And obviously it's not working, but
Man, sounds like it's
rough in the streets over at the old Stalkup house.
Just glad that you didn't have to wring out that chicken's neck.
Well,
also,
I
let it be known
gloves,
that I have never had a chicken be murdered in this way before. Only the two of you have had a chicken be murdered like that.
You get next week.
Well, we'll see.
You can come back on Giving Tuesday, December the 1st, which is when our next episode will be. Same bat time, same bat channel, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're not going to have an episode.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it is. We're not going to have an episode next Friday. It'll be the following Tuesday that we actually have the episode. Same time, 3 p.m. And Kate, I can guarantee will have a chicken story by then.
No.
So.
Also, I'm a really good podcast producer, as you can tell by this. Every
what
episode.
Day am I?
I don't.
Kate, if I have to stage the chicken murder myself, you're going to have a story.
There's going to be no chicken murder. I'm going to keep up the streak.
Words.
Keep up the streak.
Well, hey, on that note, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the games that we're playing. We want to hear from you in Twitch chat. What games are you playing? And if you're listening to this later, syndicated on podcast or on LTN radio or wherever you're listening, hit us up on Twitter at Freeplay Podcast and let us know some of the games that you're playing. And maybe they're the games that we're playing and we can play them together. Or you introduce us to something new. We would
I like that.
Absolutely love it. So again, we're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with more of the Free Play Podcast.
Chwing!
Hey everyone, I'm Hector Mirai, and this is Faith and Fandom 180 on LTN Radio. So are you familiar with the anime Attack on Titan? It's this horrific story of people trapped inside of walls, which might sound familiar to some of y'all right now. But not only are they trapped inside of walls, outside of those walls are these giant monstrosities, these titans that literally just are roaming around to eat anyone that goes over the walls. And there's a military force that fights them. And in that military force, we meet this character. And it's one of my favorite characters. And her name is Sasha. And the first time you meet Sasha is in a military situation being trained. And she straight out of nowhere pulls out a potato, starts eating it. And she, of course, gets in trouble for that because you don't randomly eat potatoes in military situations. But her character throughout the entire storyline that she's there, even though the world is falling apart, even though her life is on the line at any point in time, she is going to make sure she gets some snacks. She hoards food. She makes just getting to enjoy something as basic as a potato a big deal to her life. And, she's not wrong. In Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 15, we see this verse. And it says, "So I commend the enjoyment of life, because there is nothing better for a person under the sun than to eat and drink and be glad. Then joy will accompany them in their toil all the days of the life God has given them under the sun." So Solomon straight up says Sasha has the right idea. Even though the world might be falling apart and be terrible, we should eat a potato. We should actually enjoy what's in front of us. We're heading into Thanksgiving, and there's all these questions in the air about, should we even celebrate? Should we take the time to try and live like things are normal? Should we try to enjoy life when things are so weird and so hard and there's so much going on? Well, y'all, yes, absolutely. This is the perfect time to actually pause and enjoy the simple things, to pause and be grateful and just eat a good meal, even if it's in a small number of people, because we rejoice when these hard times. So eat a potato. Remember to catch Faith and Fandom 180 every Wednesday morning on the Back Road Morning Show, only on LTN Radio. And if you'd like to learn more about what Faith and Fandom does, head over to facebook.com/faithandfandom, where you can learn more about our podcasts, Comic-Con ministry, memes, and our book series that has 7 volumes out with more on the way. I'm Hector Mirai, and thank you for spending the last 180 seconds with me.
Welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. Once again, I'm Bubba, joined with Matt and Kate, two super cool human people.
Wow, thank you.
Well,
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, I meant like theoretically, metaphorically speaking. Yeah. Don't read too much into it.
You said what you said.
Thanks for joining us. If you're here live on Twitch, where we're recording this, or if you are listening to us syndicated on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere else you listen to podcasts, or if you're listening to it as it airs on LTN Radio, ltnonair.com. Thank you so much for being here with us and for spending a little bit of your day here with the Free Play Podcast, the Free Play way. I could have made that really smooth. I got halfway through what I was saying, and I was like, that would have been...
Well, you have one more episode to nail it, so...
Yeah, I'll get it next time. Hey, we want to talk about the games that we have been playing. So, Kate, why don't you for once kick us off?
All right. Well, thank you. This is an honor, and I'm excited.
You've earned it.
Well...
As you may suspect or know, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla nonstop. What's an interesting thing that has happened to me with the game is that I played 25 hours as female Eivor, and I decided I didn't want to play as her anymore. I want to play as the dude.
So you started over?
All the way
No,
over?
you can switch.
Oh,
no.
okay.
What do you think?
Actually, a cloud save issue.
Matt?
Yeah, cloud save issue
we'll get
here.
to that in a second.
Well, yeah, I don't mess around with the cloud saves, so that's why. But I was able to, with this game, you were able to like switch whichever one you want, or there's a third option where you can let the animus choose if you play as the guy or the girl, and it switches throughout. No, it's
Animorph. Yeah.
It's not. So I was talking with Tyranny. I was talking with Tyranny about it, and I was like, I think I'm going to switch because there was a couple like story beats where I'm like, I feel like playing as a female Eivor is like not what's supposed to be happening in this moment.
Oh, you don't feel like you're living your best life now, or what?
No, I don't know. I had some cognitive dissonance, right? So like, there was a disconnect, and it just didn't feel like it clicked. Then I played as the dude now. What?
You have only, maybe you said this and I was clicking stuff around. You've only been able to play as a dude bro up until this game?
No.
You've had the choice.
Well, no.
In previous Assassin's Creed titles?
Yes. That's
in a previous Assassin's Creed title, you played as a set of twins, and you could kind of do the same thing where you could switch back and forth, but they were both twins, and certain story missions belonged to certain twins.
Hold on. They were both twins?
Yeah,
they were both together.
Twins because one had another twin, and then the other also had another twin that was the same twin. So
there were 4 twins?
Quadruples.
Yes, there were 4
Which one
twins.
was left Twix? That's what I want to know.
The middle one.
There it is.
They were all double mint. All of them.
So I've now played 7 hours as the guy, and it's just a much better fit. Like, I'm sorry, I know some people might be triggered by me saying that.
Oh, I absolutely am, yeah.
Yeah,
but it's just a better fit for the story. Like in the last Assassin's Creed and Odyssey, it was like canon that the girl was, you could choose to be a guy or a girl, but it was canon that the girl was really like the one.
Okay.
You know? So
the girl was the one?
Yeah, that the
You're
girl
confusing
was
me
like.
Here. I've only ever played the first few. You really make me want to play them again, though.
Just
selling me.
Yeah,
do I
is
help
she
you
selling
here?
you on this?
No, I think so. Yeah.
You got a free copy of Valhalla, so
It
it's
didn't
like
work.
No.
It didn't work.
Chad has it. He sold it.
No,
Oh.
he must have because it didn't work.
Chad stole it. Well, it's a great game. I'm really enjoying the variety of it. I'm enjoying the simplicity of the map, as in it's not clogged with things. It's like there are 3 different colored dots that mean wealth, a mystery, or an artifact, and you go and you get that thing. Or it's a lot more puzzly too than previous Assassin's Creed games, which kind of makes me angry. But
Does the story change based on your gender?
no,
Nothing at all in the story changes.
nothing changes.
So there's nothing that is like gender specific.
No, and like the reason why they kind of like pitched it in that way was that at the beginning of the game, they're like, oh, there's 2 DNA strands here that are tied to this story, so you could play as either DNA strand.
Okay.
That probably doesn't answer your
Jurassic
question
Park.
at
I
all.
gotcha.
Got it. I just think that it would have been really cool if it was like you play
A different
it is a
story.
different it's the same story, but it's a different person. Like, you know,
Yeah, but it's not. That's the thing. They're both
but it has to
Eivor
be.
of the Raven clan.
that can't be true.
It's the same
It
person.
is because then people want to play as like the guy or the girl
Well,
version
let me ask
of
you
it.
this, Bubba. How many times when my beard was at its fullest were you called Matt? And how many times was I called Bubba? It's the same thing. We're LTN. We're of the Raven clan.
Ask me how many times it happens
Raven
now.
clan.
All the time. It's starting to
Zero.
grow in. Look at this. I feel like this is pretty good growth. I've been taking
not bad.
some
No.
pictures. I'm going to put them through like a little, what do you call it? Like a collage?
Okay,
growth collage.
there you go.
No.
Then Drake Finney was just asking if we were doing a time lapse. Yes,
Yes.
Matt is documenting.
I am.
Time-lapse.
It's not every day, but it's
Yeah.
every couple days. Yeah, I'll do one right
That's
now while we're
fine.
on this here podcast.
Please, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, just handle it. So
Okay, what else?
I'm really enjoying this game. You'd be like, oh, of course you're saying that about every Assassin's Creed game.
No, not everyone. You don't like all of them.
I
she
don't
does that
like all
first.
of them. I like some that are some better than others. I think this one is better than Origins. It's just everything's more manageable in this game when it
Okay.
comes to like map and resources and inventory
I like to
and
hear
all this
that.
stuff. It's way less overwhelming than it has been in the past. And I'm just having fun. Like, sounds bad, but I pull up my longship and I raid a bunch of monasteries and churches and take all their money and
Normal stuff, yeah. Normal life.
Oh, Kate,
That's part of it. I'm
you
sorry.
gotta be part of the change you want to see in the world. Okay.
I shoot arrows through the stained glass windows and I jump in and I take all their stuff.
What's Steven say about that?
He doesn't have an
Oh,
opinion.
he forgot
He
something. He missed a spot.
Steven says we're the trucks.
doesn't know.
Hey, the next season Monster Truck, what is it called?
SnowRunner.
SnowRunner. Monster.
He
oh, it's Monster
saw
SnowRunner.
he saw
you
an
know
ad.
him
He saw a YouTube ad for that, and he just looked at it and was like, "Wow!" And
He's
walked
over
away.
it, or like, oh, like,
He's
wow,
over
he
it.
won. Oh, okay.
No, he's done.
It's too bad. Well, he had a season.
He's done. So, anyways, that's pretty much what I've been playing and what I plan to be playing for a long time until I am done. In which case, I'll move on to Spider-Man.
How does this add up to Odyssey for you?
So far, I actually like this one better in the sense that Odyssey was humongous. It was too big
Okay.
of a map and too big of a game. It was really fun and like really cool, but at the same time, I was like, man, I'm never going to see like everything or majority of everything. A lot of stuff felt repetitive and like repetitive over a big map. Like, ay.
Yeah.
But this is a smaller map, more unique side quests and stories and different things, and it's just kind of like framed differently. And I really like the angle that they took.
So like the theme of it all is better for you? Like you like
For me,
you like being a Viking better than an Egyptian?
I like being a Viking way better than being Egyptian. But if it's like if you're comparing it to being a Spartan warrior, it's like,
Is that
don't
how it
know.
ended up? Is that you ended up being a Spartan?
well, that was Odyssey. Origins was Egypt.
Oh, Origins was okay, gotcha.
So
What if they do the next one in the Philippines? Would you be good with that one?
Yeah, it'd be like Homecoming.
yeah, I wasn't expecting
Write that
that.
script out. I want to know what it's like.
I'll write the script
Yeah,
out. I'll
please.
work it out.
I can't wait.
Yeah. I want to hear about this.
Oh, hey, I'm going to tell you what I want to hear about. Matt, what have you been playing?
I don't want to hear about what Matt's
Well, I'll mention a couple of quick things. If you haven't watched the Star Wars Lego Holiday Special, do yourself a favor and
need to watch
do
that.
it. I laughed out loud several times. I know some people didn't enjoy it. Maybe I was just in the right mood, but like I thought it was really funny. And to me, this is now canon.
It makes fun of itself a lot, right?
It makes fun of itself a lot. I think it's perfect. All the Star Wars from Episode 1 to Episode 9, even the Mandalorian are in it.
Mando,
little Mando. It's a small cameo, but 100% worth watching. See, some people didn't like it, but I think it's worth the watch, and you just have to be in the right mood for it. And I was in the right mood. We also just finished Ted Lasso, which if you have Apple TV, or if you bought an iPhone or iPad and they give you a free year of Apple TV, which is our case, do yourself a favor and watch that show. I think it is in my top shows of the year. It's only 10 episodes. Easily. Like you think
Ted
it's going to be the
Lasso will make you a better person.
It really
watching that show will make you a better person.
It's so good. I went into it thinking it was just going to be a silly comedy, but like, man, that last episode though, like, whew, I was fighting back tears.
I didn't almost cry in the last episode, but I take that back. I did almost cry at the very end of the last episode, but there was an earlier episode. I just want to talk all about Ted Lasso for like the next 3 hours, if that's cool with everybody.
Yeah, I will give a disclaimer. If you have a problem with swears, don't watch it.
Dirty swear words for sure.
Yep. Yeah. It does swear quite a bit. The premise of the show is there's an American American football coach who gets a job as a soccer coach in the UK.
Yep.
And he doesn't know anything about soccer. He brings his assistant coach with him, and he's going through some things at home and trying to like really deal with all of that, plus trying to coach this team. Absolutely should watch it if you can. There's a lot of good shows on Apple TV, but
he's the most positive person ever.
He is. He makes you want to think about like how you react to situations in your life. Like,
I was telling Chris, because I recommended it to Chris, and he blew straight through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt like I should be watching those episodes, like taking notes of things that he was saying and doing. Ted Lasso. I mean, I'm talking top shelf, guys. It does have language, a little bit of mature content in there.
Very little mature content. Like it's mentioned.
It's more immature.
And they don't like it. It's not like nudity or anything like that. Like it's talked about.
Just language.
But it's language. So if you haven't watched it, I recommend it. It's just very, very well done. I'm honestly ready for season 2. And I knew that last episode. I was like, this is gonna be the last one. Like just where they kind of ended up in the season. I'm like, that's it. I have to wait for forever. So I watched those two, and also been playing just a ton of Miles Morales, and I say a ton,
so much more than you need to be.
So much more than I needed to. So the game is not long. And I will say that I made it to about 65% completed. And when I was saying like completed, like I had done tons of side missions. Like I'm really trying to platinum this game. I think I can do it. There aren't too many super difficult tasks in it. So I get to about 65-ish%. I've been playing on stream, and I just about to turn it off, and I end the stream and still. I'm like, okay, it keeps giving me this error message that it cannot save to cloud. And I was like, that's weird. Let me just go in there, and I'm just gonna like rectify that and change it. No problem. Like, why not save some space on my system if I can put it in the cloud? So I save my game. I think I went out and like ate dinner, and like everyone else is doing something. I'm like, I'm just gonna play some more Spider-Man. Like I'm really enjoying this, and I like go to turn it on, and I start my game, and it's like 13%, and I was like, hang on a second, 13%.
Maybe it's counting. Maybe it's like counting.
Well, and
down.
I was like, did I accidentally click on one of the boys or June's like save log and like So I like went back. I'm like, no, there's my face. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's just turn off cloud saves and like go back to the way it was. Like it still has to be saved here in the system somewhere. I'm like scrolling through settings, like checking storage, checking system, checking what wouldn't make sense. Like maybe it's got to be here somewhere. I could not find it anywhere. I could not figure out how to do it. And at that point, I'm angry. I'm like,
Yeah.
So like I storm out of the room, like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, why would they do this? Why would they do this? And Aaron's like, oh no, you've got to get caught up before your next stream. And I was like, you're right, I do.
Yep. Well.
So I spent a lot of time.
That makes me feel so anxious.
The good news is
that.
like the longest part. There's like some stealth missions that like I just struggled on. The stealth is not super fun in the game. It's good if you want to be a stealthy person. I would just rather go straight in as a Spider-Man would, but not Miles Morales. Miles Morales is a stealthy one.
It's my heart breaks for you when I see you try to play as Pro Bro Spider-Man because it just doesn't. It didn't play the same.
He doesn't have the gadgets that Peter had. So I've now found this system where I'm using his invisibility a whole lot more than I did my first playthrough.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot better. I'm getting better with him.
You're learning from your mistakes,
man. I just know it. You're going to remember the button combination, and it's going to work for you.
I did it all. I feel a lot better about all the Venom buttons, and I got those trophies: the Venom throw and the Venom punch, mixed with the Venom jump, and all those. Like I got the trophy ride to like. I had to run at a guy and knock him up in the air at the same time, and I did it. We're fine. So I'm getting all these easy ones out of the way. I do have to do a new game plus and finish it in order to get the last trophies.
This one should count. This should count as new game plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna write them in and just see if they.
It's same game plus.
Just call them.
So I think I'm at 50-ish% now. So I jumped up pretty quick, but I've just been doing all side missions, all like the bases, all the like little weapons lockers, all that stuff because those add up quickly, and I don't have to get like a perfect score like I was trying to in the first one because I've already gotten those trophies.
Oh, okay. So it kept the trophies.
Mm-hmm. So
that's really weird.
You still have to get through all the stuff though. Like
get it together, PlayStation.
Yeah, because I have
get it together.
I have to collect the little coins in order to purchase suits, so I have to have enough.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the stuff I've been doing. Bye-bye. Destiny 2, anything else? Moving on? Okay. Hey, that's going to do it for the podcast.
That's all.
Hey, no. So shout out to my man Five Dog in the chat here. I have been playing Destiny 2. I booted up Destiny 2 on Google Stadia. And
I didn't know you even had that.
Oh, no, you got one pretty cheap, right? Free or cheap?
Free. Yeah, free.
Free, okay.
So... Well, I played it in a web browser. Yeah, you play. That's the whole thing about the Google Stadia ecosystem is that you can play it from a web browser. And yeah, I mean, Fife, it was your thing. You're like, hey, somebody come play with me, and so I booted it up. I am hot, wet garbage on a mouse and keyboard. I mean,
you can't even plug in like an Xbox controller.
You can, but I was like, because I'm gonna get it on PC when my PC comes in. And so I wanted to kind of test it out on mouse and keyboard. And everybody's like, oh, I just love being able to like click and, shoot them right in the head. And I'm like, I can't make them stop. Make them stop. So I don't know. I tried it. I will tell you this. I've also played just like streaming to my iPad from my Xbox on my home network. I had less latency playing Google Stadia than I did playing on my home network streaming.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Figure that out. Well, I mean, the answer is I'm not Google. That's how.
Not yet. You aren't.
Yeah. I did the math in my head. But it was good. Like it didn't look great. At free, it caps you at 1080. And even then it ain't 1080. It's like maybe 720, maybe.
360.
Yeah. It's X Play 360. And so that was an interesting experience, but I played it for about an hour and I'll go back and play it again. It's the base version of the game, so it's none of the expansions. They want me to pay $80 to play that on Stadia? Ain't happening. Yeah. That's just not going to happen. So I will end up getting it on Steam, and it's cross-platform when it's on Steam, so I can take all the stuff that I've done on Xbox and play it over on Steam. I cannot do that with Stadia. Stadia is its own little ecosystem, so I was kind of bummed about that. But have been playing a very absorbent amount of Destiny 2 on Xbox, playing with guys like Rocket Mr. Magic, Falvo, Classic Hill, obviously playing with Frost a ton. Just getting up there. The raid is going to drop. The new raid is dropping this week. So
my.
Saturday, we're getting ready for that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can ask all the questions.
This is I don't mean to sound insensitive here. When's this game going to die?
What a wonderful start.
When is this game going to die?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, but I just feel how long will
Happy
they continue?
for you, but
how long will they
I
keep
don't
putting out
know.
new content?
I
Because
don't know.
This game came out you and I started doing podcasts together right when Destiny 1 was just about done and Destiny 2 was coming out. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds
It's
about
been
right.
around for a good 5
Yeah.
years.
4
years?
That's funny you should mention that because I was going through my all of my Xbox clips, and I had 5 years ago I had Destiny 1 clips in my save stuff, and I had Destiny 2 beta clips at about 4 years ago.
Well,
And so
I mean, I say
Yeah,
that, and Grand
been
Theft
around for
Auto
a hot minute.
5, Grand Theft Auto 5 is still in the top 10 streamed games here on Twitch.
this could probably be a whole episode.
this is a
on
whole
its
nother
own.
episode.
I'm
When
sorry.
is it
I'm gonna-
time for a game to die?
I'm just gonna
I'll write
I'm
it
gonna
down.
I'm just gonna touch on it right now.
Touch on it. I'll
because
write it
it's a legitimate. I mean, these are things that we've been talking about on stream for a while now, and hey, if you don't like it, that's fine. I would just really like to point out somebody in the chat. I'm not going to call anybody's name, but somebody in the chat still really likes to play Minecraft, and that game is the oldest game in the history of game. So, but all that to say this, what they've done is they've taken Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 and they've mashed them together. Because they've retconned, they've jettisoned a lot of the map in Destiny 2, and they brought back a lot of the stuff that was in Destiny 1 to kind of bring it back to some roots. If you start a brand new character in Destiny 2, you will actually go back and do the original mission from Destiny 1. If you were to start, I don't know, even 6 months ago in Destiny 2, maybe even 3 months ago, in Destiny 2, your starting mission was completely different. It was like a Destiny 2 starting mission, even as a fresh character. In Destiny 1, it was like the ghost wakes you up, you're a brand new character, yada, yada, yada. That is exactly how it starts now in Destiny 2 if you start a new character.
Oh.
But it changes about, towards the end of it, where you're actually trying to help this new vendor. His name's Hashan. Or Shahan, I don't remember. It's one of the two.
Hashana.
Hashan.
You don't even know his name?
It's his dad.
It's one of the two. And so you're trying to help him find his fire team, and he's one of the brand new characters in Season 2, or in Beyond Light for Destiny 2. So what they're doing is they're doing a Grand Theft Auto 5 thing where I'm sorry if I'm boring you, Kate, where they take, and they're not making a Destiny 3. They're only making Destiny 2 going forward. It probably won't be long before they drop the Destiny 2, and it just
Won't be
Destiny.
long now before this thing dies. Won't be
No,
long.
I'm telling you, it is getting so good.
What if we
It really is.
what if we stop
Shahan, there you go.
What if we stop Free Play Podcast 1 and we just start doing a Free Play Podcast 2?
Well, let's go. I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, Destiny 2. I could talk forever about this game. I love it. I think it's great. There's so much stuff. If you
happy
guys
for you.
actually played it, you might like it. But a couple other things. I got a bunch of board games in the mail this last week. Tidal
did.
Blades Deluxe Edition came in. I have not even had a
Bud.
chance to get that thing to table yet.
I'm real proud of you. We're supposed to do co-optional tomorrow or whenever you listen to this last week. I'm looking at my game shelf. I'm like, I don't know what to play. We've played
Bro.
everything. I haven't bought any new games.
Well, maybe you should get a new game.
I got tons of them.
since-
I've got
Better up.
I've got 2 packets worth of games that came in, 2 boxes worth of games from Cosmos and Thames. Those are like the exit games and adventure games and stuff like that.
Yep.
I got a bunch of those. And on top of that, today, Chronicles of Crime Millennium Edition, the Millennium series, that all came in from Lucky Duck Games, and that's like three games. So many. Here, look.
Look-see here.
On Twitch,
I'll
if you're
see.
here,
I'll describe it.
These are only some of the games.
He's holding up
So
games. 4 of them.
There's
How
a
many?
1400,
Four.
a 1900, a 2400, and then an expansion box. And
Square-shaped
if you go
box.
and you look on Twitter, Kate's going to post or has already posted, or you can look on my stuff. The picture of all of this stuff together, and the playmat is like a child-size playmat.
It's like a
I
blanket.
haven't posted it.
Yeah, it's like a blanket. I had my 5-year-old son, lay down next to it just for scale, and all the boxes lined up next to each other are as tall as him, and that's how big the playmat is. It's ridiculous, but my wife is like crazy into Chronicles of Crime. We call it crime stories because it's like time stories.
Crime stories.
But anyway, I got tons of stuff to play. I'm not going to get to it all today. Not going to get
Bragging
to it all this
camp.
week.
How was bragging camp?
It's going pretty good, yeah, actually. Yeah, we got arts and crafts on Friday, so. But those are some of the games. We're over time here. Those are some of the games that we've been playing. We want to know the games that you've been playing. And hit us up in the chat here on Twitch, or let us know on Twitter at Free Play Podcast. What are the games that you've been playing? We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the 2020 games of the year. Some that are on a legitimate website, and some that are legitimately in our brain holes. And so we're going to take some stuff from you guys, and then we're also going to talk about things that we think should be on the list that might not already be there. All that and more right here on the Free Play Podcast.
Swing.
We here at LTN Radio know that not everybody is nerdy in the same ways, and you might find yourself in a situation where you hear a word or a phrase that you've never seen before and have no idea what it means. Well, have no fear. I'm here to help. Today's term is parallax. The definition of parallax is the effect whereby the position or direction of an object appears to differ when viewed from different positions. But in the DC Comics universe, parallax is Hal Jordan, the once greatest of the Green Lanterns, now turned villainous. As the evil Parallax, he was responsible for a lot of people's deaths, and in fact, at one point even tried to erase time itself. Though a little bit of good did peek out in the end when he sacrificed his life to restart the sun and save the universe. It wouldn't be until many years later, when Jeff Johns took over the comic book, that we had Hal Jordan's rebirth, and we found out that Parallax was actually the entity of fear, being imprisoned within the Green Lantern power battery on Oa. Which is why Green Lantern rings, which get their power from the Owen Central Power Battery, have been unable to affect things that are yellow for the entirety of the Green Lantern Corps' existence. The power of Parallax has been used to create the Sinestro Corps, a yellow lantern corps led by, of course, Sinestro, another man who once wore the title of Greatest Green Lantern. And over the years, the entity has actually inhabited many heroes and other beings, causing all kinds of havoc all across the universe, but for now, he resides imprisoned on the sentient planet Green Lantern, Mogo. There was also a version of him in a movie named Green Lantern, but we don't really talk about that version. Ugh. Hope this helps. Come back next week for another nerdy definition.
Welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. Once again, my name's Bubba, joined with Matt and Kate. And
Matt.
Today, hey, how's it going? And today, we are talking about the Game of the Year, 2020 edition. It's what a dumpster fire 2020 has been. And so,
It's got some good games, though.
yes,
Have we?
yes, we have got some good games. But I think what it has done is it's left us with a little bit of a problem as far as like Game of the Year goes.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's tough.
you can,
It's
I mean,
tough.
the game awards already have their their 2020 Game of the Year polls going on and all that stuff.
And they will be announcing on December 10 the results.
Well,
of
can we just back up real fast? Like, give me the past couple games of the year for the past couple of years, like official ones, not like Game of the Year edition. God of War.
Are you sure?
And Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. God of War won
Red
last
Dead
year,
again,
right?
2 years ago.
So it had to have been God of War, Red Dead. No,
Breath
Red
of the
Dead,
Wild,
Red
Breath of the
Dead,
Wild.
God of War, Breath of the Wild. Correct?
Like going backwards?
Yeah.
God of War came out in 2018 too.
Well, then they couldn't have both won.
Yeah, so someone's
What
lying.
won last year?
I'm looking it up. Hold on.
was last year?
2019.
Probably Cyberpunk.
Sekiro
probably. Last
Shadows
of Us.
Die
Last of
Twice
Us.
was Game
Last
of
of Us
the
2.
Year.
Sekiro was?
In
Oh,
2019.
no, The Last of Us. Yeah, and then Last of Us won a few years ago.
Last of Us, Witcher 3,
probably.
okay,
yeah. So there have been some really good games that have come out in recent years.
Yeah.
And this year, I don't. Maybe we just
Kinda
haven't had a
slim
game.
pickings.
Yeah, it is a lot slimmer pickings. Kate, why don't you give us the was it 5, 6, 5?
6.
The top 30,
The
please.
top
So
6.
the top 30. Well, here's the 6 that the Video Game Awards are putting forth for voting in consideration for Game of the Year 2020. Animal Crossing, New Horizons,
Mm-hmm.
Doom Eternal,
Heard of that one before.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, so there are some pretty
It's not a super weak lineup.
no,
But it's also
no.
not the strongest the lineup has
Definitely
ever been.
not the
So-
strongest. Definitely not the strongest. We're not talking Red Dead versus, what was it, God of War versus Spider-Man? Or
all this
It was Breath
stuff
of the
is-
Wild versus Spider-Man. That's what that was.
Oh
That was a-
yeah,
that was a tough- that was tough.
year.
That was tough.
Yeah. So this
This
year's
one-
it's a little bit different. So
So, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, look at all those titles that we talked about going backwards. All right? Every one of those has a strong single-player storyline. Every single one of those games does. There may be a multiplayer element to it, but the game does not revolve around that
Yeah.
multiplayer element. Not
Definitely.
even close. So, over the last couple of years, indefinitely, however long, I don't know, we went back to The Witcher 3, it's been a single-player primary game that has won Game of the
Yeah.
Year because we're talking about, like, overall, from, top to bottom, the experience. And those single-player games give you that experience. Now, in 2020, the games that we have on this list, I'm looking specifically at like Assassin's Creed New Horizons. I do that too much. I messed it up. I'm not even thinking about it. Animal Crossing.
yeah.
I think Animal Crossing being on this list is perfect. I think it is the 2020 Game of the Year. I think that it is.
I mean,
And I'm okay with nobody believing me because I would not be surprised if it walked away with this award because of what it did at the beginning of this pandemic.
and that's what really makes you look at these 6 games a little bit differently. Is this is
Yes.
not a normal year. This has not been a normal way of.
Well, and I
way
think
of
the
the
last one
world
that
of
was
games.
more multiplayer is Overwatch back in 2016-ish era.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's been a few years.
Yeah, and so I've played half of these games. I've played Animal Crossing, I've played Ghost of Tsushima, and I've played The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I've been thinking, ever since we decided this was going to be the topic, I've been undecided about what my feelings are about The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Because it's like, would I recommend a game that was like emotionally difficult and an ordeal as Game of the Year? Like, I don't really feel.
See, that's what I don't. That's exactly why I don't think that Last of Us 2 is going to win Game of the Year, because, like, was it a great game? Is it worthy of being on this list? Is it
Maybe.
worthy
I feel
to
like
be
it's
in
on this
consideration?
list mostly
I think
because
yes.
I think it's on this list because The Last of Us 1 paved the way for this one to be on the list, and it
So
gets
that's the thing.
grandfathered in, and it's like, should it be there? Maybe
It's a true sequel, right?
it is, but it's like it doesn't feel good to play that game.
Yeah, I don't think that, like, it was not well received. It was very hyped,
Yeah.
and then what happened was it wasn't going to come out, and then the internet lost its freaking mind.
That was
and
for
so
the
they're
day of
like,
the year, yeah.
oh,
And the
you know
leaks,
what?
the
Here-
leaks.
oops, sorry. Yep, here's the game. So
The big leaks.
it came out, but again, it was not well received once it was out. I have
Yeah.
not heard anybody, and there may be somebody in the chat that proves me wrong right now, but I've not heard anybody go, "Oh, that game was awesome.
The
I
good
loved that
stuff
game."
about that game was the way that it looked and some of the ways that
Oh,
it
yeah.
felt, not necessarily emotionally, but the way that it handled itself from like a hardware perspective
Sure.
was cool. But it's like, okay, because that's cool, should you be game of the year? Like
No.
I would, out of these 6, I would pick Ghost of Tsushima hands down.
So Ghost of Tsushima, I think, is probably the best well-rounded game on this list.
Well, and they're adding more stuff to it. Their online multiplayer
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Which you say that, and like I think it already dropped, and
I think
I've
it did
not
too.
heard, I've not heard or seen anybody that's played it, and so
well, I'm playing Spider Guy, so
like
Other things
okay, here's
happening.
the thing. Other stuff has come out and people have kind of walked away from it. It's like, was it
Yeah.
a really great experience? Yes. I put way more time into freaking Paper Mario and didn't even beat it than you put into Ghost of Tsushima, and that's not
well,
like
I don't know about
that.
that.
That's not like, well, this game's better or worse because of the time. It's I just think that that's worth it to note, is that like it was a good experience, except for when Matt was like jittering, walking around. Yeah.
I thought it was great.
So
I thought it was
it's a
great, too.
fantastic game.
And something new and different. Like, that was a lot of it for me as well. It's like, yeah, it feels like a Samurai Assassin's Creed, but the
Yeah.
way that it looked, the way that it felt, it was still an original IP new thing.
See, and to me, that's where my pushback would come, is that it did feel like Samurai Assassin's Creed. Like, I think that it could have been, under any other circumstances, it could have been an Assassin's Creed game.
Then
I think
Yeah.
it was a really great Assassin's Creed game, but
Then
Good.
should Animal Crossing be on there, because that's like it's just a redo of an old game, just
For me,
kind of
no.
stretched out.
But for
I-
other people,
yeah.
it's like, yes,
I would
it definitely
argue,
should be.
for me, I haven't played all these games, but I think I would argue that it would come down between Ghost of Tsushima and Animal Crossing. I think Animal Crossing
I think so.
saved a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, that came out and pandemic happened. Everyone's quarantined. Like, that's what a lot of us did. Like, I played that game a ton.
A ton.
A ton. Like, right. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
tough.
So I mean, you look at it. That's why, I mean, Assassin's. I did it again. Animal Crossing is at the top of that list for me. Because of what it did. It brought everybody together during the pandemic. It gave us something to do while we were legitimately quarantined. Like, hey, it's illegal to leave your house in some areas. Here's Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it allowed people to get outside and go and do things without getting outside and going and do things. And post all of that, you want to talk about updates? That game has done some updates. We had, the Easter event where we went and found 100,000 eggs
The
on our
eggs,
island.
and then the Halloween candy stuff.
Yeah. And right
And
now it's
soon,
mushroom season. Anna's growing all kinds of mushrooms and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, it's a game that you can still get a lot out of because it continues to grow. Now, here's the deal. Hear me out on this. With basically every other game on this list, and Ghost of Tsushima included, there is a definitive end to those games.
Yeah.
There will be a point where you just don't need to
That's
play
what
it
I
anymore.
like about those games, though. The open-ended games kind of like, and that's where this whole thing will come down to like a difference of opinion and game preference.
Yeah.
Like, for somebody like Anna, who's like down to check in every day or like regularly play and loves the open-ended that comes with like Animal Crossing or like Stardew, that's like perfect.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm looking at it as
You like Stardew. What the heck are you talking about?
I like Stardew, but the fact
You
that
couldn't
it
get
will
the
never
golden clock.
end,
Yeah.
the stuff that never ends, and like cattails too, the stuff that never ends. I'm like, okay, when does it end? When I see the credits roll, I'm like, well done, good and faithful servant. On to the next.
Thanks, KK, for that jam.
So yeah. So I like those experiences that have the beginning and then they have the end.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
Because then I look at that as the whole thing.
I think we see these games here. Is there a game that you would pick over these 6?
There are 2 games we haven't talked about on this list.
Oh,
Like expressly talked about. Okay, the first, Hades. All
I
right.
have no experience
haven't
with that.
played it, but I
game
know
at
people
all.
love it.
Hades, I haven't played it, but from all accounts, Hades is basically the best roguelike that you can play right now. I don't know. Again, I haven't played it. I don't know that it's Game of the Year worthy. On any other year, I don't know that it's Game of the Year worthy.
right.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2020. So
Well, it honestly reminds me a little bit of like how it's a good game, but like what was that? Celeste? No,
yeah, Celeste,
Celeste. Is that it? Like, it's a
That's
really good
one.
game, and everyone loved it.
Dead
but
Cells is another one.
not like not a game of the year game. Like, it was
Yeah.
an enjoyable game.
I don't know. I think that it's good that they're reaching out into other genres. I like that. That it's not just here Deep Rich, all these same games with different skins on them. Basically, you push the same buttons, it does a different thing. But I think that we can drop Doom Eternal from this list.
You played it around Halloween,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I played it. Is it Game of the Year? No, absolutely not. I have no idea why it's
Yeah.
on this list. I don't. I think
COVID.
I think a lot of
That's
it.
why it's on the list.
I think a lot of it has to do with cash money. I really do. I think that it's a lot of this stuff is like marketing and whatever. It's already on Game Pass. Like that
Yeah.
game, I can just go play it on Game Pass. And I don't want that to knock something because Halo Infinite, when it comes out, will be on Game Pass immediately. And it may be
Yeah.
Game of the Year 2021 stuff. It'll lose to Cyberpunk. We can go ahead and just hand out that trophy now.
That's on my list of things to mention here.
But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so you're asking games that should be on this list.
Should
Or willing
Could.
to, or could maybe.
but we're only in November and we still have
That's
a full
the
month.
thing.
Like,
So it's like there's
There
still
ain't
stuff
nothing-
coming out, like
What? What's coming out?
Cyberpunk's
Cyberpunk?
coming out. So it's
Cyberpunk
like,
is not coming out. Cyberpunk won't
allegedly
be
they're
out.
coming
Allegedly.
out, Bubba. But
It's
I
not
mean, I know we start these like polls and votes in November to announce it for by the end of the year. But
Yeah.
should this be a January award where you start then be like, hey, you had all of January through December.
Yeah.
Here's what it is. And
probably.
if Cyberpunk comes out and people love it, like it looks great, I think it's going to be super fun. I don't know. Or do they take December to November? I don't know. Like, wasn't
I don't know.
Jedi Fallen Order released at the end of last year? And
Something
did that
like
get
that.
included?
Yeah, I think it was November. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean
don't
that's
know.
what
I don't know.
chat's kind of talking about that.
I think like if all this award stuff turned to January, it would make a little bit more sense. But there's Cyberpunk that's like, well, could that make the list? Maybe. We won't
Yeah.
know. But then more realistically is Spider-Man Miles
Mm-hmm.
Morales. So
yeah,
why is
but
that
it's
not
DLC.
on here?
It's DLC. Because at on the same
Yeah,
the same
it is.
side of that coin, I could say Destiny 2 Beyond Light. I think that's
What
a Game of the
DLC
Year
comes with
contender.
their own disc though?
All of them.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Red
No
Dead
way.
Redemption Undead Nightmare came with its own disc.
Okay, that's
Like it's got to get installed
different.
somehow.
That's different. That's
So I mean, like legitimately, I can make a case for Destiny 2 because that has been my absolute game of the year.
It's
It
tough.
has.
What are the prerequisites then? Like, is it
not.
time? Is it
Player
story?
base.
Like for us
Me?
personally, or
Graphics?
for the real picks?
For the real picks? Like,
I have no
With
idea.
us, we can pick whatever the heck we want.
I think it has a lot to do with.
Well, I mean, even thinking like Hades, like if it's a roguelike, you're not going to play that. You could play a long time. You continue to build and build and build and build and build,
Yeah.
or you couldn't. You play it like
Well, here's
a couple rounds.
here's some more info on. Here's from Metacritic.
Okay.
Right? These are the games, the top however many 6 or 7 games that have
The top
the
so
top
many, yeah.
ratings for that came out this year.
Okay.
Number 1, Persona 5 Royale. It's not even on this list.
Never heard of her. Yeah.
No.
Number
that one.
2, The Last of Us Part 2. Number 3 is Hades. Number 4 is Half-Life Alyx, which is VR.
Oh, okay.
5 is Ori and the Will of the Wisps
Oh,
on
okay.
Switch. 6 is Hades. And 7 is Demon's Souls. So those
Is
are
it
the
out?
top.
Did it come out yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it has.
So,
Those
yeah.
are the top 7 according to Metacritic.
Really?
So that looks a lot different
None of those.
than the first 6.
Well, Hades. Hades is the only one
Hades
of
is
those.
and The Last of Us 2 are the only
Oh,
ones.
Last of Us 2, yeah.
Those are the only ones. So it's like, what's
no,
the difference?
Among Us. Hey, that's a great point, by the way.
Oh.
Among Us.
But then that right there comes down to money. It's like, oh, they're not a big budget enough game to get
Interesting.
included on this prestigious list.
Yeah. I think that they also have like viewers' choice or something like that. That's not necessarily
yeah.
industry. I understand that it came out 2 to 3 years ago,
Yeah,
but
there is that.
I would say that game is like brand new to everybody this year.
It's like when you are a redshirt freshman
Yes.
and
then you get a blue shirt.
football match, and you can't play
Yeah.
that first year, but you still are on the
Absolutely.
team.
Well, it's because your coach is from America and he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
understand, what a power forward is. So
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man's a really good game, but like, is it a full game? Sort of. I think it's
Sort
longer than a
of.
It's longer than a DLC, but it's not a full.
DLCs are like 10 to 15 hours.
It's not a full
it's,
game.
it's taking you a long time. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I played it twice.
Just-
Same game plus. Got it.
Yeah. That's
there's
tough.
there's another list too here
Okay.
from Games Radar, and it has some of the same stuff, but some other stuff that I was kind of like, oh, didn't even think of that. Also,
All right, hit me.
Animal Crossing, Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy 7, blah blah blah. Microsoft Flight Simulator,
Okay.
Crusader Kings 3, Fall Guys.
Oh, Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Let's see some other ones we
That
already
game,
talked
the
about.
game was real hot for a while.
Death
Yeah.
Stranding, Demon's Souls, Factorio, Spelunky 2, Genshin Impact.
I can't put Death Stranding. I can't, in good conscience, I cannot put Death Stranding on this list. I can't.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't play
You
it,
have
so
to. So I think I said this last year, and I'll just keep saying it every year. I do not think that Game of the Year needs to be. I don't think it needs to be limited to games that have come out this year. I think it should be. What is your Game of the Year? If you end up picking up a game that's 4 years
Red
old,
Dead.
and you're like,
I was gonna say Red Dead.
yeah. I mean,
It's
honestly,
my game of the year for 2 years now.
I think that needs to be like a legitimate category, and maybe that's something that we'll start doing here with LTN as we move forward into 2021. We've talked about this a little bit, but maybe we just actually freaking do it for once. But like, I mean, if you truly, legitimately think about it, friends, there were not a lot of games that were released with these brand new consoles. There just weren't. Okay,
Yeah.
so a lot of it focuses on backwards compatibility. When the Switch came out, somebody made a joke in the chat just now about Skyrim. My game of the year 2020. That's when Switch came out. It was all about, hey, what old games can we get on this brand new console
That's
so that people
true.
can play their favorite games. It's moving forward. All of this stuff is about the games you love being able to play them on new hardware. So for me, I don't think Game of the Year should. I think games released this year should be a category. I don't think it should be the top dog. Because I look at this list and I'm like, none of those are my Game of the Year.
Oh,
Not a
dear,
single
that's
one of them.
Not my game of the year.
Hashtag not my game of the year. Now, I will say this. When Breath of the Wild came out, and it was on the list, I actually voted for Spider-Man that year.
You were wrong.
I was
Wow.
wrong. And
I don't know.
I stand by what I
It's tough.
said.
I would have voted
It's
for
tough.
Spider-Man over Breath of the Wild just
I
because
couldn't.
If memory serves me correctly, I hadn't played Spider-Man when it came out, and by the time I actually voted, I had beaten Spider-Man, and for me, it was a hands-down winner against Breath of the Wild because I enjoyed that short play. I say short play, that time that I was in Spider-Man, I felt like Spider-Man. You fast forward to Miles Morales, and it's like this it's Spider-Man, but you're Miles. Like it, it's basically the same game. Basically, I don't want to simplify it, but
I don't either.
Yeah, nobody should. That's not recommended. But I don't know that it should DLC be its own thing. Like I mean, I don't know.
You could really, if you want to get as into the weeds with it as you can. That's the thing. So that's why it's hard when they just boil it down to Game of the Year. Here's 6, and it's like, what are the parameters we're voting on?
Rogue Squadron is not even on there.
Hmm.
Like that game was dope. Everybody was freaking clamoring for it. I don't know. Like there's so much to.
It's so
to
much
say
harder
about
on the surface. It seems like, just make a decision. But once you start really thinking about it and digging into it, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Woodle's my game of the year.
Woodle, yeah. Woodle.
Oh, man.
Well, hey,
So
thank you
many
for
games.
everybody who is popping off in the chat right now, telling us what your game of the year is from this list and otherwise. Make sure you continue talking about this. Let people know. And get out there and, hey, go rock the vote, all right? Go vote for the game of the year.
Yeah, and maybe, okay, look, here's the thing. You can vote. I'll make a poll that lists games that the three of us, I'll put Woodle on there.
Perfect.
And
yeah.
some other stuff, and you can all vote for what should be the free play game of the year.
I love it.
Based on these things. The poll will go up as soon as I think of other things. So make sure you're following us on Twitter.
We'll figure it out. But also, yeah, like I said, hit us up on Twitter at Free Play Podcast. Make sure that you're hitting us up in the chat. This sub-only Twitch chat here on twitch.tv/lovethynerd when we record. And talk about it with your friends. Like these are the things that nerds talk about all the time. That's why we're so stinking passionate about it. Like what should be the game of the year? At the end of the day, nobody cares. If we're being real. The only people that care are the publishers of these games, whose numbers will inevitably go up because they make it on this list. So, hey, what are you gonna do? I don't know. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to close out the show, and we're going to say salutations and thank you, and just put a nice bow on this thing. But stick around.
Nice little bow.
We'll be back with more of the Free Play Podcast.
Swing.
This week in nerdy news, this is LTNN. Wonder Woman 1984 officially has a release date, and it's sooner than you think. It's December 25th. This Christmas, Wonder Woman 1984 comes into our homes via HBO Max and in theaters at the exact same time. It will be available on HBO Max in the U.S. only, but at no extra cost to subscribers. You hear that, Disney Plus, with your Mulan garbage? Sorry, I'm still bitter about that. LEGO has just announced their largest set ever. Coming out later this month, it is the largest set in LEGO history with 9,036 pieces. What project could be worthy of such a title? The Roman Colosseum. Designed by Rock, Zlagan, and Kobe, the set features many true-to-life details, such as 3 different shades of brick to mimic the aging in different columns. There are also 80 ribs, like the real amphitheater. Fans will also notice columns from the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian orders. Once built, the LEGO Coliseum measures in at over 10.5 inches tall, 20.5 inches wide, and 23.5 inches deep. Fans will also be able to purchase the set starting November 27th from Lego.com and Lego stores for $549.99. Yeah, that's right. It's more than an Xbox Series X. And finally, last weekend, SpaceX launched into outer space on its historic Crew 1 commercial flight, and they brought a little guest along for the ride in the Dragon capsule, Baby Yoda. The Baby Yoda plush actually did have a role during the flight, as it was acting as the zero gravity indicator, which is an object that is brought on board to determine when a microgravity environment has been reached. NASA astronauts Shannon Walker, Victor Glover, Michael Hopkins, and Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Soichi Noguchi docked in the ISS, and they will live and work aboard the space station for approximately 6 months. That is going to do it for this week in Nerdy News. I've been Station Manager Matt, and this is LTNN.
Welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. My name's Bubba, joined with Matt and Kate. And Matt is trying to eat one of his spicy chips.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give it to the person who wins the Series X. Because I have 2 of them.
Oh, that's terrible. What a terrible idea.
Your funeral.
I think
Here.
you're
No.
going to
Here's what we
regret
do.
eating it when you do eat it.
No, I'll be fine.
Okay, so
Let's hear it.
I think what we do
Hold on.
is... Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
I think what we
Yeah.
do... This is so good. Suspense? Anybody? Bueller?
Okay.
What is
Ready?
it?
You said... Kate. Kate's
What
having
is
a
it?
migraine because I won't get to the point. No,
Just
seriously.
hurry.
Whoever wins, you send them the chip, okay? And then they have to record themselves doing the one chip challenge. Once they have successfily done it,
No, I'm not
then
doing
we
that.
send them.
Get
Then we
outta
send
here.
them the Xbox.
That's
Get outta here.
terrible.
No, I won't.
And then
I will
if
not
they
do
don't
that.
do it, hey, if they don't do it, then we pick another
What
one.
if you don't know them? What if it's not somebody just like Chad or whatever who knows what's going on and they're like, what?
Kyle
You
already
sent
did
me a
it.
chip?
Look, everybody in the chat's like, I'll do it. I'll eat 5 chips. No big
No,
deal.
you will not.
I don't know if I would eat a chip for
Like just
that
like
Xbox.
Bubba, I'm gonna tell you what's in this here chip, and then we're gonna talk about Giving Tuesday, and we're gonna talk about the giveaway. So this is a Carolina Reaper plus Szechuan heat. Carolina Reaper is one of the hottest peppers known to
Allegedly.
man. So that's
I have
Carolina
something
Reaper,
I wanna add
scorpion
to
chili
that.
pepper, activated charcoal powder,
Oh, it's
chipotle
good for you.
pepper
Okay,
powder, Szechuan pepper extract. So
I'll raise
There's a
you
warning
one.
on the back.
I will raise you one on the hot chip. I want you to eat a hot chip with this salsa that Steven's grandpa makes that is so spicy. It's called For Men's Only because only
yeah,
guys
because
can
ladies
eat
will
it.
burn. Yeah.
Because it's too much. So I'll send you some of that. You can put that on the chip and eat some For Men's Only on the chip as well.
For
Trust me,
men's
this stuff's
eyes
hot.
only.
I ate a little bit on a chip and it made my bottom lip numb for an hour.
I cannot wait for my insides to burn.
Dude, I'm serious. I am scared. I'm legitimately
should be,
scared.
Bubba.
Well,
about
that's
this.
why in the schedule I made it so you streamed before. Or did I? Yes, I did.
You had better have.
Yeah.
Fools.
And I'm gonna drink some Pepto before I eat mine. Just
Oh,
in case.
I'm gonna do like Homer Simpson when he ate that really hot chili pepper. He like drank a candle. I think that's probably where I need to be.
There it is.
Just wax the whole.
That is so
system.
gross. I don't understand. Although I'm excited to see you both eat the chip and be
Thank
in
you.
misery while I'm fine. I'm excited about that.
I'm gonna have some ice cream available for myself.
Kyle Matthews says that
so-
our flatulence will be amazing.
We
I
are
bet.
going to be doing these things on December 1st, right here on Twitch
Year of
or
our Lord.
wherever you're listening
I
to
don't-
this. Go to your website, twitch.tv/lovethynerd. And
Twitch
December, yeah, whatever. December 1st, Tuesday, we'll be doing just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to
Stuff
be
and
doing Matt and Bubba in the morning, streaming some games, doing another live podcast episode where we will announce the winner of the Xbox Series X.
Ooh-wee.
And if you want to be a part of that, you need to be a subby on Twitch, and you need to hit !dibs. And then we will announce the winner then. And I will send the Xbox out to you
Next
just
day.
as soon as I can. I might, if we make it swift enough, I might be able to send it out that day.
Don't make
I-
promises you can't
Well,
keep.
I
It
said
really
might.
It really depends on what time we actually do the drawing.
Yeah, well, we'll do it in the first 5 minutes so everyone leaves. We'll eat the chip, we'll do the drawing, everyone will leave. I'll leave too because I'll go mail it, and you two can just talk. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
perfect.
So. What? Oh, hey, Kate, what's going on?
What'd you say?
Yeah, so we are doing this giveaway for the Xbox, and we legit want to give it to you. We do. And I do not care. I could not care any less if you like or don't like Microsoft, if you need or don't need this console. I don't care if you're a proud member of the PC Master Race, you should still dibs. You should sub. And
You
dibs.
said I couldn't dibs.
Oh.
So
But, well, you can. Yeah. There are 6 people, 7, I guess 12 people legit total who can't dibs. And that's like the founders and the founders' spouses.
I said I'd never ask you for anything again if you just let me type dibs in the chat.
But nobody believes that.
I just kind of want you to type dibs just to see if it works. I want to see if you win. And we won't let you win, but I just want to see if you do win. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Now I'm scared to type dibs.
Legitimately, we talked about it, and we're like, well, hey, what about people like Frost? And what about, what do you mean by those people? What about people like Frost and
those peasants like Frost?
Like people that do stuff for us, people like station manager Matt for the radio station, and we decided, they should be able to dibs, because they work with us, but we don't bring and pay them, so it's like. It's the least we could do to let them in on
Frost.
stuff like that.
You heard it here.
So
go ahead,
have
Frost.
one.
Go right ahead.
That's fine.
Dibs.
Frost, I think I said that. Now, here's the deal. You're going to have to decide if you win it, if you want to let us pick another name. That's going to be completely up to you.
Calm down there.
Yeah. Fail. But seriously, we want to give back here at LTN, and we bought this thing. This was not gifted to us. We used LTN money, which is money that comes from those of you that do subs and you support us and you partner with us financially on a monthly or a one-time basis. And this is our way of saying thank you and giving back, and also allowing other people to become part of this partner team that we have here at LTN, so that we can do more of these things. I think it'd be really dope if we were able to do a PS5. I think it'd be really dope.
I've been kind of keeping my eye open for one.
Yeah.
So.
Legit, I think it'd be great if day of we had a bunch of people that were like, "Hey, I wanna add this thing to a giveaway for Giving Tuesday." Like, if you have ideas about stuff that you want to do for that, hit us up. We want to pass this along through LTN, so that it gets bigger, it gets better, more eyes are on this thing. We've had a ton of people come through the Twitch channel. Just, hey, I heard you guys are giving away an Xbox. Yeah. What's the catch? Not one. You just sub and then exclamation point dibs. Do I have to be there? No, not really. What about if I live out of country? Well, then we'll ship it to your country. Like, there's literally, you've got nothing to lose. And if you hate hate Microsoft, there's somebody in your family who doesn't, or a friend of yours that doesn't, and you will absolutely win Christmas. So, hey, there you go, Adam. Enjoy. I'm sorry, not Adam. Enjoy that sub and hit exclamation point dibs in the chat. So, you know what? Please do that. Giving Tuesday, December the 1st, we're going to be doing a 15-ish plus-ish hour stream. We want you to come be a part of that. Going to be a long day. Big, long day. Matt and Bubba in the morning. Kate's in and out. Matt and Bubba are there probably all day long.
Yes, we are.
Chris is going to be streaming. I'm going to be streaming. Matt's going to be streaming. What else are we doing? We're doing a free play podcast episode. We're doing one chip challenge.
It's the finale of the season finale.
Finally, it's the finale. Yeah,
absolutely.
Finally.
Come back with Free Play Podcast 2.
Free play podcast Beyond Light.
Absolutely. Oh, I can't wait.
There you go. There it is.
Oh, man. If Frost says he's going to be streaming, I guess time will tell. We'll see how he does between now and then. But yeah, seriously, guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. We're going to wrap this show up and just encourage you to check us out. Matt, you're going to be streaming tomorrow night, which are traditionally Saturdays, doing co-optional. Matt and Aaron are going to be doing that. So be sure to just like and hit the bell for notifications here on Twitch. Twitch.tv/LoveThyNerd. Follow us, do all the things, sub, just be all around awesome. I'd appreciate that. I think that's going to do it for this episode 110 of the Free Play Podcast here in Season 3 of Free Play 1, I guess is what Matt is calling this thing.
Yeah, Free Play 1. Yeah.
Free Play Prime. Be sure to check us out on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Apple, anywhere you can listen to things.
All the places.
We're there. We happen to be on the internet. Kind of a big deal. And you can also listen to us on LTN Radio, ltnonair.com. We'd love for you to be a part of that. If you're not already a part of the Love Thy Nerd Facebook group, just do it.
So you
Head
can
on
see
over.
the GIF that Matt posted today.
Oh,
so
baby,
good.
baby, baby. It's so
It's frightening. It's frightening.
It's very Matt. It's very Matt. So head on over to Facebook, type in Love Thy Nerd. Two things are going to come up. Join the community, and also follow us, like us on our page, where Kate is posting all sorts of stuff there. If you're in the chat, you can type !LTN stuff, and all this will come up as well. And we have a Discord server that I would appreciate you joining, becoming a part of. I think that's where some of our best conversations happen. You can find that at lovethynerd.com/Discord. And as always, just heading over to lovethynerd.com and find out more about us. We got great articles, more podcasts, we got video content, we got resources, we got all sorts of good stuff for you to do over there on lovethynerd.com and to consume. There's no paywall. That's pretty cool.
Free.
Free $99, and it's on sale. Speaking of sale, do we still have a sale going on in the store? I think
No,
that
it's
we do.
done. It's done.
Well, just type
Chris told
in-
me it was ending the other week, so
just type in promo code Pretty Please with a cherry on top and see
Just-
what happens.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Get back to us.
I will interrupt you real fast. We're also doing Saturday morning streams now with Al, 9 a.m. Eastern
That's
time.
right.
And he has been playing Minecraft. I think that's going to continue to be the case. So if you're up and drinking your coffee, eating your breakfast on a Saturday morning, tune in here on Twitch or there on Twitch, wherever you are on Twitch, and check out Time with Al. Chill.
Yeah, nobody's
Time with Al.
dogging on Al about playing Minecraft for
Chill,
the last
Canada
15
Al.
years, you know? Yeah, promo code help empty Chris' apartment.
it
Yeah.
says it's the sale's still there, but Chris told me it ended, so
Still
now I don't
going.
know.
Go for it. Go now.
I don't
Still
know who
going.
to believe, so go
Do
check
it
out.
now. Well, hey, you can also check us out, Love Thy Nerd, on Facebook, like I said, Instagram and Twitter at Love Thy Nerd. And as always, be sure to follow the Free Play Podcast on the Twitterverse
Most
at Free Play
important-
Podcast. Get out there,
Most
rock the vote.
important thing
Rock that vote.
you could ever do is follow the Free Play Podcast.
Once again, I'm Bubba Stallcup.
Once again, I'm Matt Warmbier.
And thrice again, I'm Kate Katawaki.
Hey, and we'll catch you next week. Not next week, but on December the 1st, 2020, for Giving Tuesday. That's when we're going to do our season finale for Season 3 of the Free Play Podcast.
I just got to remember that date.
Just put it in a calendar. Hey, if no one else tells you this, I promise it's true. Jesus loves you, nerd. Shabbai.
You have been listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Be sure to rate and review the show and share on all the social media.
Did you
You
clap?
did. You
I
did
sure did.
clap. Are you
I thought
serious?
you do this. I need to like hear it.